Hello, welcome to the webinar Demystifying Deliverology, Achieving Transformative Outcomes for Universities and Community Colleges. My name is Kay Patrice Williams, and I am extending a warm welcome from the entire Hudnall, Thomas, and Wilson team. A bit of housekeeping. If you have called into the conference on your phone, please take a moment to put your phone on mute. Throughout the webinar, please use the chat functionality to ask questions. Either throughout the conference or toward the end, we'll get some of those those questions answered. At Hudnall, Thomas, and Wilson, we provide people, process, and technology solutions. We apply best practice disciplines, including Balanced Scorecard and Six Sigma, to help our clients identify, validate, solve, and achieve advantages to expand return on investments. At Hudnall, Thomas, and Wilson, we bring a holistic range of expertise that allows our clients to address a broad spectrum of opportunities. At HTW, we achieve educational outcomes, enhance processes, and improve customer service in an effective and efficient manner. Our goal is to partner closely with our clients within the K through 12 and higher education industries to help facilitate their goals of leadership within their respective industries. Now I would like to introduce our CEO, Patricia Hudnall, and I am taking you off of mute. Can you hear me okay, Pat?
Yes, I can. Thank you.
Awesome. So, Pat, I'm going to introduce your bio properly. Just give me a minute here.
Okay.
Patricia Pat Hudnall is the CEO of Hudnall, Thomas, and Wilson, Inc. Pat has over 30 years in delivering professional consulting services to a variety of corporate and organizational clients. Delivered solutions has included project and program management, methodology development, strategic planning, Six Sigma process engineering, governance, and risk mitigation. Past clients include Bank of America, Visa, Cisco Systems, Sun Microsystems, AT&T, Pacific Gas and Electric, Delta Dental, the Department of Defense, and Santa Clara County. Ms. Hudnall has a BA in Industrial Management from Golden Gate University. You're certified as an executive leader in management from the University of Notre Dame and has a Six Sigma black belt. Welcome, Pat.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm so excited to hear this process presentation. I am going to give you the presentation board.
Okay, great. Okay, well, thank you, Patrice.
Thank you.
And I believe you can see my screen.
Yes.
Okay, well, let's get started. Thank you so much for the fine introduction, and welcome to all of you that have joined the call. We wanted to share this information with you for a couple of reasons. One, we do understand the challenges that educators face on a daily basis. Now, as you look at some of these challenges, you're going to recognize that some of these apply to the K through 12 grade levels. However, when we look at it in terms of higher education, we find challenges where we are looking at the linkage between the policies and the educational outcomes, and those outcomes are geared toward preparing students for careers or preparing them for transfer into the secondary or into the university system here in California. No matter what you're doing, there's always going to be a level of accountability around learning, accountability around the financials, and also promoting that the systems are the best for the community at large. With this in mind, we wanted to talk a little bit. Let's see what happened here. Wanted to talk a little bit about what is Deliverology. So first, let's note that it is a process approach, but it's designed with the goal of driving improvements in student performance. And when we look at performance, we're looking precisely at bridging the gap between educational aspirations and educational outcomes. So why would you even consider such a tool? Well, every educational institution has that overarching responsibility of delivering effective education to its students. So this is always going to be the challenge, driving excellence in educational results, regardless of the environment that we're talking about, whether it's at the university level, the community college level, or in our primary school systems. HTW, I want to note right now that Deliverology was really founded by the individuals that you see here, the first being Sir Michael Barber, and it comes to us from the Education Delivery Institute, which is today located in Washington, D.C. A little background is this approach was originally formulated under Tony Blair, Prime Minister, and there was a Prime Minister delivery unit that actually formulated the process and pretty much perfected it. We now use this here in the U.S. throughout the country, actually, and the Educational Delivery Institute is very much involved in this effort. When you think about it in those terms, you might ask the question, okay, so where are we today? At HTW, our goal is to really help students learn, and that's your goal as well, prepare them for college and help them succeed in post-secondary education and beyond. I think as an overall, we do have general agreement that we desire the best outcomes, that the type of reforms necessary to achieve those outcomes are changing from time to time, that we do have college and career ready standards, and we need to perfect those as well. And then there are the tools to measure and support effective teaching. We do have demonstrated improvements in a variety of areas. However, we also realize that progress has been slower than we'd like in some instances, and also that progress has been uneven. What has been the challenge? Well, the key challenge has been implementation. Many times, policies do not make things happen by themselves. It is important and necessary that we define how we will actually deliver results. And I always point to this quote by Margaret Thatcher that says, "Don't tell me what, I know what. Tell me how." And it's from that perspective that we are today at HTW talking about how to bring the process, the control, and the implementation quality to our various educational institutions. The first is collaboration with the delivery teams and district administrators that are designed to achieve a cohesive view of the approach, the process, and the outcome. This particular requirement would apply within our community and university systems as well. Having a structured implementation approach, a defined end-to-end process with built-in best practices. Again, this is a hallmark of an effective process, and it's not just confined to the topic of education. Having a structured implementation approach applies within the corporate environments as well, whether you're manufacturing equipment or whether you are delivering new products to the market or whether you're delivering a utility service, for example. And one way of achieving that is having a customized process framework. In today's environment, we often would web enable that. Why? Because everyone can gain access to the same information. And providing an online documentation library is part of your knowledge management approach to ensuring that the people that do the job have access to the right and timely information. Finally, a process with appropriate controls is going to help you expand the tools that you need to drive delivery, information gathering, and communications. And I'm going to note here that communications is a key requirement. So why would we consider a process-driven approach? There's a couple of scenarios or case studies that we'd like to highlight. First, there's the challenge where we have the lack of metrics ownership. It's not just having the metrics, it's the ownership behind those metrics and the inability to demonstrate timely progress towards your aspirations. An effective solution to that is having an improved definition of your baseline metrics as well as departmental accountability and the ability to identify at-risk delivery efforts. Another challenge is various explanations as to the how. How do we initiate or manage progress? How do we ensure that we have documentation that demonstrates progress? The solution is having a clearly defined approach with access to tools for consistent application across your environment. Another challenge is possible student and family involvement and monitoring. We see this need at certainly in the K through 12, but it's also from a student perspective who really are your clients at the higher education level. And in this case, the solution is delivery and process visibility, coupled with a well-defined communication strategy and plan, again, for organizational-wide dissemination. On this page, I want to just talk about the Deliverology components. As we noted, it was defined and developed, and it is managed by the Educational Delivery Institute. It's a basic delivery structure that goes into developing a foundation for delivery, understanding the delivery challenge, planning for delivery, driving delivery, and then creating an irreversible delivery culture. So these are the components with the underlying activities that are already defined within the framework. So what did we do from an HTW perspective? We looked at this and we recognized the processes that are already defined, but we drilled down further into the process of defining a step-by-step process that allows you to understand the process, the clear roles and responsibility for each subset, the risk and the opportunities associated with that task, and then the best practices. Also, there's the development of a library that supplies the tools needed at that level of work. And I'm just going to take a moment here, Patrice. I'd like to just kind of highlight what that looks like in a prototype that we've developed.
Oh, great.
Okay, so we have a prototype that was developed some months ago because it's been a while as we've been working with this. We really like what we saw here. And what you're going to notice here is that when we look at processes, we can go right to each one of those areas and drill down into the process steps. So, for example, if your responsibility is to gather and organize strategies and plans, we have identified those steps. And of course, along with that, there's a library of content. So if one of your activities is to, and I think I opened that one already, let me just pull it up right here. If one of your activities is to look at your stakeholders and understand their roles and responsibility, we have provided those templates here so that when you're busy, you actually have access to tools that work for you immediately at your fingertip. And that's really the beauty of having a solution of this type. I'm going to go back to the presentation at this point.
And while you're doing
And
that, I do have a question that I think fits in. The question is,
yeah,
how does having a technology driven solution benefit the delivery team?
oh, that's a great one. Thank you for asking that, whoever asked that question. It is not just about the technology. Let's start there because in many years of working across various industries, technology should work for you. When we go through the process of defining how you deliver improvements to your organization, we're working with you to define this. We're working with you and your team to define the steps, the tools, the data sources, for example, your metrics, your key process indicators that you will use to look at interim improvements. And it's through that process, through that work effort where we do the heavy lifting, that your entire team is essentially trained on this process. It's enabled for you, and you are now positioned to move forward with your projects while sharing a common view of your vision for delivery. And that's where the technology helps because as people move and change within the organization, now the new person that comes in, you can immediately guide them to this and they can become part of your delivery team, part of your system team, and we are shortening that ramp up curve or that learning curve for them because they can immediately get in and visually see this is the work that I need to do, and here are the tools to do that work. Does that answer your question, Patrice?
I think it did.
Or the question?
Mm-hmm.
Great.
Yep.
So, yeah, so technology is important, but it's also important how you use it and how you use it to facilitate your results, your outcomes. I never have been in the position of promoting technology for the sake of technology. If it doesn't serve a viable purpose, then it's not going to be valuable. But what we know from experience is that working with people to define their business, their process, their approach, and the tools that they need, it's like they become enabled to be successful.
Yes.
So I want to talk about why our approach benefits your efforts. I mean, we've kind of touched on that a couple of times. We optimize the implementation process and we increase the odds of success. I'm going to go through these bullets, but I want to just say that when we look at any effort where you are looking to deliver something to some end user, some end client, it's always going to take effort. And what you always want to have are repeatable successes. And that's where we are looking to help in this effort. So some of the benefits are you have a local solution that meets local needs while it's adhering to program principles. You can promote accelerated learning and timely engagement. And this was one of the points that I mentioned in regards to bringing people on as a report, as people move around. You have the tools to drive course correction and reset improvement trajectories. And that is critical to achieving your outcomes in some reasonable time frame. Because, whether or not people want to agree, we're all being measured on some level. And that measurement has to be in terms of, did you achieve the outcomes for the spin? Did you achieve the outcomes for a significant population of your students? Right? Those are the things that we're looking at, and it makes all the difference in the world.
We have another question, Pat.
Yes.
This question is from a unified school district that was on our call a few days ago. They're on a call again, and they said, we don't know where to start with the exclamation mark.
Well, I do actually have a page to talk about just that on the next page.
Oh, okay.
Because that's why we're doing this. Yes, I do. And I'll wrap this page up. I wanted to just say that in terms of benefits, it's important to have a routine to drive and monitor performance. Oh, yeah. It is not something that you do intermittently. It has to be a routine in place, and having a process does that. And test tools with delivery teams to promote effective time management. So you have that opportunity to work through the tools and templates that are developed so that your delivery team is very clear as to the time involvement, and that's where you're going to get the commitment that you're looking for. So Patrice, in response to the question about where do we start, we've developed 4 packages. The first one, and I'm going to get is just a program review. So, for example, if you've already started and you are not seeing the progress that you would like, or it may not be as efficient as you would like, or it's much more difficult to bring people on, that program review is designed to engage with your delivery team, to look at where you are today, your aspirations, your approach, your baseline metrics, your improvement trajectories. And out of that, based on what we're seeing and what you wanted to accomplish, we formulate a gap analysis, and from that, we can identify the specific actions that are needed to move things forward. We have also developed a program implementation partnership. So this is a partnership that we feel is very important in helping people get started. As part of the community, we at HTW, we have a keen interest in seeing our students be successful, because basically that's our future.
Absolutely.
So with this partnership, we will sit down with you, lay out a plan using Deliverology, work with your development team, your system teams, to look at how you can approach it, the metrics, your key process indicators, and get a plan in place with training to move you forward. And getting your processes defined and tested, even as part of that, is going to help you be successful, because the goal is to bring the entire organization forward. We use the tools, the communications plan, our stakeholder details, so that we know how to communicate with the people that you are going to be communicating with. We help you formulate that plan and the messaging and the timing. Another package that we put together was just developing that district web-enabled environment similar to the prototype, but it's customized around how you will go about your work. Different systems have different data sources, and they have different ways of looking at that data. We want to make sure that it's very clear. So the prototype does include descriptions of how the information should be used, any calculations that you need to make, any graphical outputs that are necessary. It's all a part of the tool. And another aspect of that prototype is having real-time, here's our project documentation that's posted, so that everyone can be on the same page. And finally, our last package is team training and engagement. And so this may apply to a group that wants to get started. We develop the training content with the lead administrators. We want to make sure that it's not just the tenets of Deliverology, but the passions and the goals that you have within your organization that may apply to, teacher development, further development in this space. And that's what we bring to the table in training. So we believe that with these 4 packages, we can help you get started, help you course correct, or we can help you improve your tools and your processes, or we can help you train the personnel that you want to bring along. And that training and communication can be expanded to your parent groups and your partners. Because I hate to use this terminology that it takes a village, but really that's often what it takes. And having strong and effective communications along with clear visibility of what you're looking to achieve will go a long way in helping everyone come to the table with an open mind and ready to partner. So, Patrice, that's basically my presentation. I'd like to turn it back over to you.
Oh, thank you, Pat. I really appreciate you going through those packages with all of us because it really allows organizations to partner, work with us in various price points. So that's really good.
Good.
Yeah, yeah. So let's go to that next screen, contact and find us, so that we can let everyone know how to reach us. Well, everyone that is on this call received a Conference Bridge reminder, and that was from my corporate email address, patrice at hudnothomaswilson.com. So any one of you that are listening to this call, either live or later in replay, you can reach us that way, or you can email us. You'll see at the very bottom of the screen here, outcomes at hudnothomaswilson.com. So you can reach us there. You can go to our website, which has been newly designed, and go to contact us on the menu bar and reach us there. Also, I would like to let everyone know, because I'm looking at the questions. Pat, I see a lot of thank yous, but I don't see any more questions. So what I'm going to
Okay.
do is open this up for anyone that has a question, or a question comes through your mind later in the next few days, to go ahead and email us at one of those email addresses any of those questions that come to mind. And what we'll do, Pat, is we can combine the questions from today and from the webinar that we did for the Unified School Districts a few days ago, combine all those questions, answer those along with the replay, and email them to everyone that were are either on this call or who looks at it later and wants a copy of it. So that's what we'll.
Great. That's wonderful.
Thank you. So with that, we all at Hudno Thomas and Wilson would like to thank you all for taking your last 30 minutes and being with us on this webinar. Thank you, everyone, and thank you, Pat.
Thank you. Have a wonderful afternoon.
Thank you.